Here we are at the Kranji War Cemetery. We're starting off with this memorial stone in memory of the members of Operation Rimau. In September 1944, when Singapore was under Japanese occupation, 23 British and Australian members of Services Reconnaissance Department Z Special Unit traveled from Australia by submarine to the outskirts of Singapore Harbour. Their mission was to attack and destroy enemy shipping from small submersible boats using magnetic limpet mines. The party included 6 former members of the highly successful raid launched against Japanese shipping in Singapore Harbour in September 1943. Codenamed Operation Jaywick, they were intercepted by Japanese forces, and in the actions that followed, 13 were either killed in action or died of wounds. The remaining 10 were captured and subsequently executed on 7 July 1945. The place of their execution is approximately 580 meters last of the junction of Clementi and Dover roads. Members of Operation Rimau, Lieutenant Colonel Ivan Leon DSO MBE, the Gordon Highlanders, Lieutenant Commander Davidson RNR, and the other members mentioned in dispatches, members of the Operation Jaywick. We salute their daring and bravery. This plaque was emplaced by former members of Special Unit Australia, 27 September 1993. Kranji War Cemetery and Kranji State Cemetery. 2 cemeteries of national significance are housed at this site. Kranji War Cemetery is a burial site for soldiers who died defending Singapore and Malaya during World War II. And Kranji State Cemetery is a burial site for 2 former presidents of Singapore. Kranji War Cemetery has its origins in a prisoner of war camp established by the Japanese in this area in 1944. Prisoners who died were buried in the cemetery on a hill behind the camp. After the war, in 1946, this cemetery was chosen as the site of a permanent war cemetery for Allied soldiers. Military graves from other parts of Singapore, as well as Saigon, Vietnam, were then transferred to Kranji War Cemetery, which contains more than 4,400 graves today. To honor soldiers who had died without a grave, architect Colin St. Clair Oakes designed Singapore Memorial, which was unveiled by Governor Sir Robert Black on 2nd March 1957. This memorial, which resembles the profile of a World War II fighter plane from above, comprises 12 walls on which are inscribed the names of more than 24,000 soldiers who died without a grave. Kranji State Cemetery, which is located just outside Kranji War Cemetery, was established by the Singapore government in 1970 for individuals who have made important contributions to national progress. The cemetery contains the graves of 2 former presidents, Yusof Ishak, who was Singapore's Yang di Pertuan Negara, head of state, from 1959 to 1965, and the first president from 1965-1970, and Dr. Benjamin Shears, Singapore's second president from 1971 to 1981.
That's beautiful, huh? Top?
Yep, we can see it.
And not sticking. Here lies an Australian Imperial Force. Easy Moses, 2nd of 30th Infantry Battalion, 28th January 1942, age 22. Dearly loved and ever remembered.
Here's a fellow from the Leicestershire Regiment. This is Private E. Falconbridge of the Leicestershire Regiment, who died on 9th April 1945, age 26. God grant eternal rest. Here is a chaplain to the forces, the Reverend H. Smith, Royal Army Chaplains Department, 15th February 1942, age 29. And from the ground there blossoms red life that shall endless be. Here, buried near this spot, just like in the First World War, the graves there, many of these people, their bodies have never been found. Their memories are marked on these stones. So buried near the spot, here's a fellow from the Australian Imperial Force, Private P.J. Nestor, 2nd of the 29th Infantry Battalion, 20th January 1942, age 33. Duty nobly done, ever remembered. Many of these graves are unknown soldiers. Here is a soldier of the 1939-1945 war, known unto God. This entire row and the next row behind it are all unknown soldiers. Here is Private S. Forsyth of the Gordon Highlanders, who died on 9th April 1945, age 30. And here we have one of the Royal Air Force fellows who died in Singapore. Here is Aircraftsman First Class G. Renison of the Royal Air Force, who died 18th July 1947 at age 27. Though you are lying far away, dear son, our thoughts are with you every day. Here is Marine S.T.W. Sully, RM, of the HMS Repulse, 31st March 1942, age 21. We pray that some kind land will tend your grave with care. Mom, Dad, and sisters.
Ants.
Here we have A.W.J. Dimmitt, CEB Engineering, March 1942, age 28. Husband of Isabel, son of F. and L. Dimmitt, Perth, West Australia. Here is a gravestone to 5 soldiers of the 1939-1945 war, known unto God. The same is over there, another 5 soldiers. (1939 to 1945). On the walls of this memorial are recorded the names of 24,000 soldiers and airmen of many races united in service to the British Crown, who gave their lives in Malaya and neighboring lands and seas, and in the air over southern and eastern Asia and the Pacific, but to whom the fortune of war denied the customary rights accorded to their comrades in death. They died for all 3 men.
Because they had a copy on it. Here it is right here.
Here are the register books for the war dead of the Commonwealth, 1939 to 1945, here at the Singapore Memorial. We are still at the Kranji War Cemetery, and we are here at the major marker for History and Truth. I'm Donald Cook, and here is...
My name's Dan Manners. I'm a veteran from the United States of America.
And now we will recite the poem written by Colonel John McCrae during the Second Battle of Ypres in 1915. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw a sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw, the torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. We will now have a toast to the fallen. Ladies and gentlemen, to the King, the Reiwa Emperor, the American Constitution, and to the fallen. They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. That concludes today's commemorations.